What's up guys, it's Steven here from Cymatics and welcome to the 7-day beat making challenge. I'm super excited about this. Give you a couple tips before we get rolling into it. One, don't miss a day of this challenge. It's not going to be hours and hours of work or anything crazy like that, but we are going to be giving you skills every single day to work on. And even though these little bite-sized 20 to 30 minute exercises aren't going to be super long, they're very important leading up to the next day because they all build upon each other. So it's very important that you make sure and watch every single day, but let's get right into it. So many producers are sitting on a gold mine of knowledge that they're not even utilizing. And what we're going to be talking about today is active listening versus passive listening. And this is actually something that Drew has really stressed with our production team being very, very important at taking your production to the next level. So what's passive listening? Passive listening, think about it as being at a party and you hear music in the background. Maybe you're at a restaurant or a coffee shop and you just happen to hear something and you're kind of not even thinking about the music. You're just kind of going with your day-to-day life and there happens to be music playing. But for music producers, it can actually be very useful to actively listen to music. And what this is literally sitting down, putting in some headphones and actually listening to the songs, looking for specific details. And what this could maybe mean is maybe you listen to some of your favorite songs and you're specifically studying the bass lines like over and over and over again. You might be studying how the 808 sounds on your car speakers versus laptop versus your headphones. And this is kind of like, honestly, it takes a lot of brain power. You're actually sitting there studying the music itself. And this can be so powerful because a lot of people think you need YouTube videos or even videos like this to learn a lot about music production. And you don't always have to look inside the studio and see what they're doing inside the DAW. A lot of that information can actually just be learned through active listening. So this is going to be something that once you get into the habit of doing it, you'll actually, be sitting at that coffee shop or restaurant, and instead of just sitting there talking, you'll actually kind of be like not able to turn it off because you'll sit there and be studying how it sounds in the restaurant and stuff like that. It'll be really cool, and actually taking the time, sit down for like literally a couple hours a day. Once you start building up to it and just studying the music for a long period, this can actually be crucial to leveling up your production because then you're not going to just make music blind. You're constantly studying, and then when you go into the studio, you kind of have some reference stuff in your head of what stuff should sound like and what kind of sounds you should be using. So to get started with this, the first thing you're going to do is you're actually going to build a reference playlist of 10 to 15 of your favorite songs, hip hop beats, trap beats. This is a beat making challenge, so all the other videos will be based on making beats. So I suggest maybe finding an artist like maybe like Drake, maybe like Travis Scott's new album, somebody like Kendrick Lamar or Juice WRLD. So maybe take 2 or 3 of your favorite songs from each of these artists so that way you got a good variety to study. And the reference playlist should be made on wherever you listen to music the most. So if you listen to Spotify, make it there. If you listen to music on SoundCloud, YouTube, make it in the spot that you listen to music the most, so that way it's really easily available for you and you're constantly listening to these songs. And for the next 7 days, try not to listen to other music. Try to focus on listening to this set of songs because when you listen to these over and over and over again, sometimes the golden details don't come until like the 27th time you've heard the song. Then you notice that, how that perk loop really did something interesting with the beat, or how maybe a certain kick drum added a certain feel to a certain beat or something like that. There's all these little golden details that don't surface the first time you watch it. It's like a movie. Have you ever watched a movie and the first time you watched a movie, you may not notice certain things, but then after watching like 8 times, you kind of know every little detail about it? Well, music's the same way. So don't be afraid to listen to these songs over and over and over again. And after the 7 days, you can listen to whatever you want or do this with other genres, and that's perfectly okay. But for these next 7 days, I want you to focus on this. I want you to listen to the 808s. I want you to listen to the drums, the hi-hats, the percussion. I want you to listen to how the vocals really sit in the mix. And then I want you to do this on different sets of speakers. Not everybody listens to music on a pair of Yamahas or a pair of your studio speakers. People are listening to music on their iPhones. People are listening to music on their laptop speakers, different car speakers, really shitty speakers. And so with that being said, I want you to listen to a lot of this music in different spots so that way you can identify a good mix. Identify what a good kick drum sample sounds like maybe in your car versus an iPhone. Because guess what? With social media these days, understanding iPhone is actually really, really important. So understanding not only the mix itself and all these different elements, but how these elements are supposed to sound on different devices is actually super, super important. And you'll realize that literally overnight, just by even 1 or 2 sessions of this active listening, your mix will get way better because you'll know what to listen for and you'll know how to make your music sound. That's what you're going to do for today's challenge. But the other thing I need you to do as well is download all the samples I've included. They're either going to be in the description of this video. I've also sent out an email and on Facebook Messenger. Make sure you download all the samples because every single day you're going to be using different things like hi-hats for the essential hi-hat training, 808s, and we've included all that stuff for free for you guys. Not to mention, if you're hearing certain types of 808s or kicks or different percussion samples in your reference playlist, you should be digging through the samples we provided, because we're actually going to provide you with a lot, and find stuff that sounds similar. So that way, if you're trying to replicate a certain vibe or a certain feeling with a type of 808, you can go find that type of 808, and if you've done this active listening right, you'll be able to identify that sample better. I cannot explain how important sample selection is when it comes to producing and how much it can level you up, and doing this active listening will actually make your sample selection a lot better. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed day 1 of the challenge. Don't forget, you need to do this every single day. I don't care if you have other stuff going on, because we have a lot of good stuff coming up, and I hope you're ready for day 2. Peace.